Hello everyone, my name is Trip Dixon and my opening statement is, should all states be allowed to follow the guidelines set by the CDC for prescribing opioids for chronic pain? And my answer is yes. On October 26, 2017, the White House declared opioid addiction a national state of emergency. The CDC reported there were over 1,000 emergency room visits per day for opioid overdoses. In the same CDC report, they reported over 22,000 deaths in 2015, and that number has tripled to 63,000 deaths in 2017. Opioid overdoses have surpassed car wrecks as the leading cause of accidental death in this country. We have a serious problem. Why am I so passionate about this topic? Well, my story begins like so many others. I began taking painkillers for back problems in 2005, and the only relief came from the pills that I took 4 times a day. After several months, your body builds up a tolerance, and 4 pills a day just wasn't quite enough. This is where most addicts get into trouble. When opioids are not available from doctors, they seek it out on the street and get introduced to heroin or other synthetic opioids that are killing people at a rate that is higher than car wrecks. It is only by God's grace that I am standing in front of you today. If it wasn't for a loving family and a loving church family, I would be dead. After a successful back surgery and recommitting my life to Jesus, then and only then, I was able to break the chains of addiction. CDC's guideline for prescribing opioids for chronic pain is intended to improve communication between doctors and patients about the risk and benefits of opioid therapy for chronic pain. It's also to improve the safety and effectiveness of pain treatment and to reduce the risk associated with long-term opioid therapy, including opioid use, addiction, and overdose. The guideline is not intended for patients who are in active cancer treatment or in hospice or end-of-life care. And the CDC uses a lot of medical jargon, but to put it in layman's terms, they are suggesting to the Board of Medical Examiners in every state for doctors to make every effort to treat acute or chronic pain with non-opioid pharmaceuticals or physical therapy. Opioids are not the first line of defense or routine therapy for pain. There's no evidence in the amount of time it takes for someone to become addicted to opioids. So to be safe, a 7-day supply is recommended. If the doctor has exhausted every effort to find non-opioid therapy for the patient and nothing is helping to relieve the chronic pain, then the doctor may write a prescription for more than 7 days. However, the patient will have to revisit the doctor every 30 days, and patient will be drug tested to make sure there are no other drugs in his or her system. The doctor will also have to notify the prescription drug monitoring program about the treatment for each patient is receiving for the opioid treatment. This is to help pharmacists see what treatment the doctor is prescribing and to make sure that the patient is not doctor shopping around. Several states like Florida, Louisiana, and North Carolina have introduced legislation and have begun to follow the guidelines set by the CDC. And now is the time for the rest of the country to follow as well. Opioid addiction does not discriminate. This crisis affects soccer moms, doctors, lawyers, business professionals, minors, teachers, and it's tearing families apart. Also, although the White House has declared the epidemic a state of emergency, they have not allocated the first dollar to fighting the crisis. I myself have personally been to 2 funerals because of opioid addiction, and it's time for every state to start following these guidelines set by the CDC. Too many people are dying, too many families are being torn apart, and we have to at least make an effort. So thanks for letting me share with you guys today, and I really enjoyed this class.